Hi folks, welcome to our presentation about our network Landscapes of the Mind. I'm Anna, a volcanologist based at the British Geological Survey in Edinburgh, and my work mainly focuses on the research and practice of interdisciplinary approaches to reduce disaster risk. Carol also works at the survey, and she's a marine geoscientist, artist and science communicator. So, questions that help us frame the aims of our network. Firstly, how does the landscape change over time, and what does that mean to and for us? And how do our perceptions about the landscape change, and does that influence how we use it? Increasingly, decision makers are gathering around issues related to Earth, our environment, and the connection between landscape, society, and local communities. However, decision making requires a baseline understanding, a point from which they can compare likely impacts of any policy changes. And this baseline understanding often covers a wide range of different aspects of science and society, usually communicated by specialists in those fields. Our network aims to contribute to an evidence base to support decision-making about landscape, as well as open up dialogue about the contribution and importance of the arts in environmental research. Increasingly, local to global challenges are being addressed by integrating knowledge from seemingly disparate disciplines, including the arts, even if collaborations between artists and other researchers are slow to be endorsed. Project, artists and researchers from other disciplines will help build a framework within which communities and policymakers can begin to discuss how to best manage competing demands on land use and resources, while still maintaining an inherent connection with the cultural and historical past. We will look to increase the public understanding of how science feeds into landscape planning and decision making, and provide a method for the numerous voices of those who live and work in our landscape to be heard through discussion, form and creativity. We seek to find out what people need and take from their landscape, enabling a rounded dialogue where emotions and spiritual value is given a voice, alongside economic importance. Our focus is on the evolution of Scotland's landscape, particularly the balance between landscape conservation and adaptation to changing culture, community and societal needs. We've purposely not predefined a methodology for the products or even really the process from our engagement, and we think this fluidity will provide greater prospects for real novelty and significance of our work. We do, however, have some ideas for creative methods when we do get a chance to meet, from a novel visual matrix to art facilitation on a geological field trip. Through these field trips and other workshops, we aim to co-create new artworks and host a public exhibition. While the network officially started in February, many of our group have yet to meet, but I can tell you that we're a diverse and growing group, from historians to musicians, archaeologists to metalworkers, and our common interest is landscape, particularly in Scotland. We see this network as an opportunity to explore landscape challenges in Scotland by looking at particular problems from multiple perspectives, as well as co-creating outputs that reflect those perspectives and the learning from our interactions with communities and each other. Our project partners are Jupiter Arland, an award-winning sculpture park just outside of Edinburgh, and Dynamic Earth, a science centre in Edinburgh that tells the story of planet Earth. Okay, so that's really it from me network, but I did want to just share a couple of further slides related to some master's research that Carol is also undertaking, which is related to landscape and communication. And these are the three questions that she's using to develop her research. Firstly, what frames are currently operating in Scotland with regards to landscape decision making at a broad scale, and do they reflect the concerns voiced at community level? Second, what impacts do those frames have, especially when viewed against cultural ecosystem services analyses? And lastly, how can creative forms of science communication help bring different perspectives together when addressing the aspect of cultural ecosystem services and value? I think we can all agree there's some pretty big questions there. So some of the early results I'll share with you. Carol asked a number of communication and public engagement colleagues in ScotPen, which is the Scottish Public Engagement Network, what does the landscape mean to you? And as you can see, maybe apart from paper orientations, the knee-jerk response was a large open views of rural scenes. And so interesting to consider your own view of the landscape. What does it mean to you? Interviewed a range of people to date, from advocates to artists and strategists, and asked them all one question: what are the current frames around landscape that are operating today? I think you can see from these that their answers are very varied, to say the least, and highlight the complexity that we and communities face in communicating a wide range of emotions to a policymaker. Back to our network, Landscapes of the Mind will now officially run until May 2022, so there's plenty of time to get involved. We've already linked up with other networks, so we hope that there will be lots of opportunities to work together in future ventures. Please feel free to email me, Anna, or Carol if you have any questions about our network. Our website will also be going live soon, so stay tuned for that one. But that's it from me. Thank you very much for your attention.